What's the story, Morning Glory? What's the word, Hummingbird? Thank you so much for clicking on my channel and for joining me for this review of 90 Day The Single Life Season 4, Episode 7, John Tells the Truth. Let's get started with Tyree. So, Tyree, he is getting ready for his fake date with this woman named Teresa. Now, Teresa they want us to believe, was this woman that he randomly met when him and his brothers went to New Orleans for a boys' trip. And they, they had a connection or whatever the hell. And Tyree asked her out for a date, and Teresa was, she was down. And so today's the date of the date. I don't know what TLC is trying to do to us, why they think that anybody believes that this is a real date or a real connection between Tyree and Teresa. I don't know who the hell Teresa is. I don't know if she's a paid actress. I don't know if she works for production. But one thing she's not is a true connection for Tyree, or a real connection for Tyree. So the plan for the date is for them to go on a voodoo tour and then to have lunch. So when we see Tyree in the beginning of the episode, he is getting ready for his date. So he's in the hotel room with his two brothers, and his two brothers are trying to give him advice on how to act on his very first date, which is hilarious because the brother that's doing the majority of the talking, he can barely keep a straight face because all of this is just a complete farce. The other brother isn't even talking because I'm pretty sure if he opened up his mouth, he'd bust out laughing. They can't even keep it together. You can tell that all of this is so manufactured and so fake. The only one who thinks it might be real is Tyree. He's the only one that is keeping a straight face. And I don't know if he's in on the joke or not, but he seems to be the only one who thinks that this is real, or he's a really good actor. So, excuse me. So Tyree tells us how he is ready to settle down and to have kids, which is wonderful, Tyree, but what the hell does that have to do with Teresa? Excuse me. His brothers, so he shows up at the place where they're supposed to meet, and the tour guide is already there. And soon after, Teresa shows up and the tour begins. And what they do is they go from, I guess, like location to location where these murders took place. I have no idea. But as the tour guide is explaining, some horrific murder that took place in some house, he's practically like acting out the scenes. And he's very, very animated and very, very excited as he's acting out these scenes. And they're outside standing on the sidewalk in front of whatever house that this murder took place in. And he's, flailing his arms all over the place and hopping up and down. He's just really animated. And Tyree and Teresa, they're just standing there, just looking at him. And poor Tyree, he says it's 105 degrees in New Orleans and he is sweating through his shirt. And the funny thing is that Tyree doesn't sweat like in his armpits or back or chest. He sweats on his shoulders because the shoulder part of his shirt was like completely soaked. Anywho, so Teresa says that, she tells us that they have a really great connection and that he'll make a great partner. And I felt like she was about to say he'll make a great partner for somebody someday. I felt like that's really what she wanted to say, but she stopped herself because she remembered that she is supposed to be playing Tyree's love interest in this scene. So they sit down and they go have lunch. They talk about relationships. Teresa says that she recently found out that she doesn't have a type. I want to know what happened to lead her to that conclusion that she doesn't have a type. It's cool not having a type. It's wonderful if you keep your options wide open and you're really open-minded to anything. That's wonderful. But I want to know, why did she phrase it like that? What made her realize that she didn't have a type? That's what I was really interested in. But, Tyree didn't know how to ask the right questions. So Tyree asked her, how does she feel about long distance relationships? And she goes, well, I'm very cautious about them, which, basically, that was the end of that. That gave her the out right there of not pursuing this any further, if this is even real. So at the end of the date, she promises to stay in touch with Tyree. And I was just like, well, at least the girl showed up. At least that happened. But she was just kind of like, yeah, keep in touch. I'll talk to you later. And no kiss, no hug. And she walked away. And that was the end of that. So I don't understand why we're watching Tyree. If y'all can't give us anything authentic, don't give us anything at all. You know what I mean? I don't know why these people, the producers, think that we have to have these people on the show at, like, just for whatever reason. Like, we're so desperate to watch them that we'll just take anything that they give us as long as we see them. And it's not like that. I like Tyree, and I felt bad that he got catfished on 90 Day Fiance, whatever. But just because he's a fan favorite and he's so likable and he's like this big teddy bear and he's a really nice guy and he's funny, it doesn't mean that we have to watch him at any cost. Because y'all are feeding us BS. It's making me not like him. It's making me not interested in anything that's going on with him because I know that it's all fake. We don't have to watch every single fan favorite. We can watch a fan favorite, follow them on their journey. Their journey ends and we're good. We're fine. We can sleep at night. It's not like I'm up at night tossing and turning because I can't get enough of Tyree on my TV screen. I don't need the fakeness, TLC. Moving on to Natalie. Natalie takes her mom to a Halloween festival. I don't know why Natalie didn't dress up because, with her big scary blue eyes, she really should have dressed up. But anyways, she didn't dress up. So she takes her mom to this Halloween festival, and Josh is not with her because he's back in Arizona visiting his children. And Natalie has never been to Josh's house in Arizona. She's never seen his kids, never met his kids. So she's beginning to feel some kind of way, like he's hiding her from his family. And her mom even agrees that Josh is moving kind of funny. He's not acting like he really wants anything serious with you. And her mom keeps telling her if you were back in Ukraine, you would have already been married by now. Like your past husbands, when they met you, like within a month, they already proposed to you. You're already living with them. And in this situation, it's been a year and nothing is happening between you and Josh. So Natalie's beginning to worry that Josh is not taking her seriously, right? So now it's Christmas and Josh is not with her for Christmas. He's back home with his kids. And this makes her really upset because she feels like he's not trying to make her a priority because she's spending Christmas alone. So she feels like she might be wasting her time with him. So she wants to know how serious he is about her. And Josh, we see him and he wants to know if he's being used by her because he's remembering what his two friends had said to him. And they're kind of like warning him that Natalie might be using him and that her feelings might not be genuine. So he's worried about her. He's worried about her fakeness and she's worried about how serious is he about this relationship. So they agreed to meet up at this restaurant. So Josh is there first and he's waiting for her to show up. And all of a sudden, I don't know if she was late or not because they made it look like, he was waiting for a while for her to show up. So then all of a sudden, she appears and he's sitting outside at a table outside the restaurant and he sees her and she sees him. They clearly make eye contact and she does her Natalie walk, very theatrical. And as she's walking towards him, looking at him and he's looking at her, she walks right past him. And I don't know what the hell that was about. She walks right past him and she takes, she's like a few steps away from him now. She stops, she turns around, she looks at him, and she's looking at him like she's expecting him to approach her. I don't know what that was about because, Natalie, everything about her is just drama. It's theatrics. It's about getting attention. It's just being really over the top. She thinks her entire life is some kind of a stage play. So that's where their segment ended. So I don't know why she did that, what the hell was going on with that, but that's where their segment ended. And we'll see what happens next week, I guess. Moving on from there, we have Tim. So after having dinner with Jamal and Veronica, Louisa takes Tim for them to kind of like have some alone time, and they go off by themselves and she's giving him all the signs that she wants to get physically closer to him, like she wants to kiss him or do something intimate with him, and she has her green light all the way on, right? And so Tim is definitely picking this up because he's getting really nervous. Tim, he's like a germaphobe. I don't know what's going on with him. I don't know if he's a germaphobe or what his issue is, but he's not like, your average guy where they just can't wait to get to that next physical level in the relationship. He wants to take his time. So Tim says, well, you brought me here because, you wanted to talk about something. And Louisa, while she's, being all flirtatious and batting her eyes at him, she's like, no, I don't want to talk. And she moves closer to him. So now they're like physically touching. And Tim says, you're getting too close. Are you forcing me to kiss you? Are you trying to make me kiss you? And she's like, I'm not forcing you to do anything. So Tim is really hesitant now because, he just ate. That's his excuse. He just ate and he hasn't brushed his teeth yet. And so he's really hesitant about kissing her, but he goes ahead and he does it. And y'all have no idea how relieved I felt when I saw Tim and Louisa kiss, because it was a very normal kiss. The way Tim is so like, he's got this phobia about kissing or kissing people at a certain time. And like he wants to take it slow and he wants to wait until the time is right, until he feels comfortable. And if he feels pressured into it, he doesn't like it. So the way he was like so super duper overly cautious about this first kiss, I thought it was going to be extremely awkward between them. I thought it was just going to be like cringeworthy. I practically had my eyes covered while they had their first kiss, but luckily it was a very normal kiss. It looked really natural. Well, to me, some might differ, but to me it did look natural. Not only did he kiss her, but he kissed her again and again and again. He kissed her multiple times. And so she was happy and he seemed really relieved. He was like, I'm so glad we got that first kiss out of the way. And he looks like a good kisser because she did enjoy it. She didn't have any complaints about it or any complaints that she told us about it. And it went a lot smoother than what I expected that it would go. So I was so relieved about that because, I kind of liked him and I didn't want it to be cringy and awkward and messy and strange. So I was really happy that it turned out as well as it did. Moving on to John. So Meg has arrived in Las Vegas because John wants her to meet his family. And he tells us several times that if his family doesn't like Meg, it's over. It's really important that he gets his family's approval on Meg. This is her first time outside of Texas. This is her first time in a plane. So it's a really big deal for her. So her goal in coming to Las Vegas is to make sure that her and John are on the same page as far as commitment and moving forward with their relationship. And she wants him to move to San Antonio. And she tells us that if he does not commit to moving to San Antonio, it's over as far as she's concerned. So they meet up with Patrick and Thais for dinner and they talk about John's role as a stepfather to Meg's daughter. And Patrick is like, I'm kind of surprised that you're taking on this, fatherly figure role. Or no. He says, I'm surprised that you're dating a woman or you're with a woman that has a child because you don't even want kids. And John says, I never said I didn't want kids. He says, I don't want to have a baby. And then Thais puts in her 2 cents and she says, I think they asked Meg if she wanted more children. She said, yeah, she's open to having, at least one more. And Thais said that, John is like a child himself. He's really irresponsible and he's like a big kid. And she tells Meg, it's going to be like, you're going to have like 2 kids if you're going to be with him because he's like a big kid. And that didn't sit well with Meg. She didn't understand like where all this was coming from. And so I'm pretty sure John didn't like it either. So when John had said he didn't want to have any more babies, this kind of took Meg by surprise because she didn't know that he was so adamant about not wanting any more children, because she does want to have at least one more, like I said before. But I didn't think it was cool for them to try to paint this negative picture of John. The thing is that, look, if your brother is happy with this woman, just support that. Like, I don't understand. Like, it's not your responsibility to warn Meg that John is irresponsible. John is this. John. That is for her to find out on her own. I didn't like how they kind of threw John under the bus, because it seems like he really likes this girl and she likes him. I might not agree on him choosing her as a partner because, she slid into his DMs and I think she's an opportunist, but whatever, he makes her happy. So I kind of thought it was uncool of Thais and Patrick to kind of throw John under the bus like that. If he's happy with her, why are you trying to ruin it? You know? Why are you trying to ruin it? And Thais's excuse was that, well, you were all up in our business. You didn't want us to be together. Okay, but that's another story for another day, Thais. Just be the bigger person and support this man in his damn relationship so that, you know, he can get out of your husband's hair. You know, he can leave y'all alone because he's going to have his own business now to tend to. But anyways, moving on to Debbie. Not much going on here. So Debbie's talking to her son. She's telling her son that she has a date with Ruben. And Debbie now says that she sees some possibilities with Ruben because last week she didn't really act like she saw any kind of possibilities or a future with Ruben. She didn't like how he dressed. She said he was dressing too loud, even though she was the loudest when it came to her outfit. She didn't like the fact that you know, like he was trying to get intimate with her, or he was trying to like get real flirty with her. It made her feel a little bit uncomfortable. But today she says that she sees possibilities with Ruben. So to me, Debbie, like, she still has her head in the clouds when it comes to relationships. She still thinks that she's living in this fairy tale and she's going to find her Prince Charming. And I'm like, Debbie, you are too grown and too mature to be like having these fantasies about how relationships go. And like every guy is her Prince Charming and it's all going to work out and she's going to have this happy ending. And it's like, girl, it is not like that out there in these streets nowadays. It is not like that. But anywho, so her son tells her, well, I want to meet this Ruben guy because, you know, I want to give him the third degree and make sure that his intentions are right. And Debbie's like, oh, the hell you are? Absolutely not. But later on, she relents and tells him, well, you can meet him just when I'm comfortable with you meeting him. So Ruben comes, he picks her up in his Polaris. As they're driving off, her son takes a picture of the license plate because he claims he's going to do like a full background check on Ruben. So Ruben and Debbie, they go to a Cuban cafe, they get some coffee, and Debbie tells him that she wants to learn more about him. But as soon as she said that, she proceeds to talking about herself. Like she asked him absolutely nothing about him. She's like, I want to learn more about you. And then he was like, oh, really? And she's like, well, you know, I have 2 kids and one of them is my son. And he's actually here with me in Miami. And, you know, she goes on and on about how she's got this, you know, overly protective son who is like really vested in her relationships. And he wants to meet Ruben. And Ruben is kind of like, okay, I wasn't really planning on meeting the family. You know, I'm just trying to have a good time here in Miami. But sure, fine. If your son is already here, yeah, no problem. I'll meet him. No big deal. So he thinks it's a little bit too early to meet her kid. But, you know, if the boy's here, I might as well have a conversation with them. But he's not really looking forward to it. So that's all that we have with Debbie. Not much going on here. Debbie and I don't know. I could do without Debbie, y'all. I could really do without Debbie. I'm more interested in the people that have real relationships, if you can call it real, as far as real as they could possibly get for TLC. I'm not interested in the people, but it is called the single life. And, you know, I guess Debbie is single and trying to mingle, but I'm not interested in Debbie dating all these people. I really don't care about that. I'm not interested in Tyree either, and him trying to find love. They could take them out. Debbie and Tyree, y'all can take them out. Y'all can keep them. But, you know, here we are. It is what it is. Because I don't know. I want to like get lost in a relationship. You know, I want to like get invested in someone's relationship, like John and Meg, and who else? Natalie and Josh. And that's what I'm interested in. Tim and Louisa. I could care less about Debbie and Tyree and them just, you know, going from lily pad to lily pad, you know, and trying to have these dating adventures. I don't care about that, but it is called the single life. So I guess that's what I'm stuck with. Thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. On your way out, please don't forget to rate the video if you like this content, subscribe to my channel, and I'll definitely talk to you later. Bye.